Did you know that India's growth story after independence was shaped by a series of 5-year plans? From agriculture and irrigation in the 1950s to industrialization in the 60s to liberalization in the 90s and finally sustainable growth in 2000s. Every plan had a vision for India's future. But why were these plans made? What did each one achieve? And why did finally India stop making them in 2015? In this video, let's take a quick journey through India's 5-year plans from Nehru's very first plan in 1951 to the last one under Manmohan Singh and then shifting to NITI Aayog. The very concept of 5-year plan was started in the Soviet Union under the leadership of Joseph Stalin in the year 1928. In India, planning began in 1951 right after independence to boost growth, remove poverty and build infrastructure. From 1951 to 2015, India followed the 5-year plan model under Planning Commission. Each Planning Commission was headed by the Prime Minister. In 2015, the Planning Commission was replaced by NITI Aayog, which now prepares a 3-year action agenda, 7-year strategy and 15-year vision document. So let's quickly go through each of 5-year plan one by one. Here, the story begins in 1951 when India launched its very first 5-year plan under Jawaharlal Nehru. It was based on Harold Domer model. The focus was on agriculture, dams and irrigation. Iconic projects like Bhakra Nangal, Hirakund and Nagarjuna dams were started, along with 3 IITs. The first one was IIT Kharagpur. The target was modest, just 2.1% growth, but India achieved 3.6%, a strong start and a big success. Coming to the second plan from the year 1956 to 1961, the focus shifted towards industrialization and the public sector. Planned by economist P.C. Mahanobolis, this era saw the birth of major steel plants at Bhilai, Rourkela and Durgapur. Growth was targeted at 4.5% and India came very close, achieving 4.27%. Now, the third plan, running from 1961 to 1966, aimed at building a self-reliant economy with an emphasis on agriculture and wheat production. But wars with China and Pakistan along with severe droughts caused it to fail. Growth was only 2.4% against a target of 5.6%. This was also when Lal Bahadur Shastri ji gave iconic slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. After this, India paused its plans, entering the period of plan holidays from 1966 to 1969. So there were 3 plan holidays in the year 1966 to 1967. The second was in the 1967 to 1968 and then at last 1968 to 1969. When the fourth plan began in 1969 under Indira Gandhi, the emphasis was on growth with stability and self-reliance. This was the time of bank nationalization and a green revolution. India also carried out its first nuclear test in 1974, codenamed as Smiling Buddha. However, the plan fell short, achieving only 3.3% against a target of 5.6%. Now, in the fifth plan, it was from the year 1974 to 1978, a 4-year plan, carried the theme of Garibi Hatao or poverty removal in English, along with employment creation. The minimum needs program was launched and regional rural banks were set up in the year 1975. This plan has slightly exceeded the expectations, achieving 4.8% growth against the 4.4 target, though it was later rejected by the Janta government. Speaking of which, the Janta Party introduced the rolling plan between 1978 and 1980. This was a flexible system with annual reviews, but it was scrapped once Indira Gandhi returned to power. In the year 1980 to 1985, the sixth plan was introduced. It marked the early steps of economic liberalization. It focused on family planning and employment. And in 1982, NABARD, the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, was established. India achieved 5.7% growth against a target of 5.2%. Next came the seventh plan from 1985 to 1990 during Rajiv Gandhi's leadership. The focus was on food, work and productivity, with a push for technology and anti-poverty schemes. For the first time, India clearly surpassed expectations, growing at 6.01% against a target of 5%. But the 1990s began with turbulence. From 1990 to 1992, instead of a structured plan, India had annual plans. The country faced a severe foreign exchange crisis, and in response, the famous LPG reforms, it is the short form for liberalization, privatization, and globalization, were introduced in the year 1991. Now, in the 8th plan, spanning 1992 to 1997 under the PM Narasimha Rao, focused on the modernization and Panchayati Raj empowerment. This was also when India became a member of World Trade Organization in 1985. It was highly successful, achieving 6.8% growth against a 5.6 target. Now, in the 9th plan from the year 1997 to 2002, it coincided with India's Golden Jubilee of Independence. Its theme was growth with social justice and equality, with stress on primary education and empowerment of weaker sections. India targeted 7.1% growth and achieved 6.8%. In the 10th plan from 2002 to 2007, it focused on inclusive growth, poverty reduction, and job creation, aiming to create 80 million plus jobs. Initiatives like National Horticulture Mission were launched. It aimed for 8.1% growth and achieved 7.6%. Now moving on to 11th plan covering 2007 to 2012, it had the theme of rapid and more inclusive growth. The Right to Education Act was introduced in 2009. Focus areas included higher education and clean drinking water. India targeted 9% growth but managed to achieve 8%. Finally, the 20th plan from the year 2012 to 2017 carried the theme of faster, more inclusive and sustainable growth. It focused on infrastructure, electricity in villages, and increasing green cover. The target was 8%, later revised down, and India achieved around 7%. But midway in the year 2015, it was replaced by NITI Aayog. So here in graph, you can see how India had set targets. It was 3rd and 4th year plan when India saw major setbacks and was not able to achieve its targets. After 2015, India moved to NITI Aayog. Now, if you may ask who comes in this NITI Aayog, let me show you the organizational structure. It is chaired by Prime Minister, currently headed by PM Narendra Modi, and then followed up by Vice Chairperson Shri Suman K. Berry. Along with that, the NITI Aayog Council comprises all the state chief ministers along with the chief ministers of Delhi and Puducherry, lieutenant governors of union territories, and the vice chairman is always nominated by the Prime Minister. In addition, temporary members are selected from leading universities and research institutions. These members also include the Chief Executive Officer. That was the agenda. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next one.